friends, welcome back to my channel. So today we're sitting down and we are doing some sale recommendations. The Sephora VIB sale is coming up. I really don't know what they're calling it this time. I feel like they change the name of the event every time. The holiday savings event, the Sephora sale is coming up, and I have a couple goodies here that I am loving recently that I really want to tell you guys about in case you need some recommendations. Before we get started, if you like this video while you're watching it, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. It really does help my channel out. And other than that, if you're excited and you want to see some sale recommendations, let's go ahead and get started. Just a really quick disclaimer, this is by no means me telling you that you need to shop the sale, that you need to spend money. I understand. Inflation is real and everything is so incredibly expensive. These days, it's wild. Mike and I were doing our click list earlier and I just could not believe the price of some of these items that we wanted to purchase. Inflation is real. I myself I don't know how much I'm going to really be participating in this sale. I plan on filming a wish list video, but it's probably not going to be a long one. There's just not a lot of things that I have my eye on recently. I don't really want to be spending the money, and then also I don't need any new makeup. So if you're in the same boat as that, you cannot afford it, you're trying to save for something, you don't need new makeup, anything like that, do not buy anything at the sale. Again, this is not me telling you you need to shop the sale. This is just in case you do have some extra money, you want to spoil yourself, maybe your birthday's coming up, the holidays, you have a gift card, anything like that, and you needed some recommendations for the sale. These are just items that I genuinely love with my whole entire heart and want to tell you guys about them in case you did need some recommendations. A lot of these, if you watch my videos, none of them are going to be new. They're all products that I use constantly, I rave about constantly. Before we do get started with the recommendations, I do just want to give you a little bit of information about the sale. So this year it starts October 28th for Rouge and goes until November 7th. Rouge gets 20% off. If you are VIB, you get 15% off, and that starts on November 1st for you and again runs through the 7th. And then if you are Insider, you get 10% off, and that starts on November 3rd for you and also runs through the 7th. Code for this time is just savings in all caps in case you need to know that. I'll have a picture here popped up to let you guys know. And then also the Sephora collection is 30% off the whole entire time for everyone. So in case you wanted to try something from them, that's pretty nice. It's 30% off. Also, really quickly, this is the 5th time I've been doing a Sephora sale recommendations video for you guys. I don't understand how I've had my channel that long. Time is just flying by. So I have 4 other recommendation videos. I did go ahead, recheck them out just to make sure I still recommend all of those products, and I still do. So I'm going to have all 4 of those linked down below in the description box in case you do want other recommendations or more recommendations from me. I still fully stand by all of those as well. So that's in the description box if you want to check those out. The first one I have recommended 2 times already in 2 other videos, so I'm just going to fly by it very quickly, but it's the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. This is just the best setting spray of my life. I've gone through pretty much 2 full sizes and a mini. I plan on picking up another full size and I think another mini. Or right now they have a set of 2 minis. I might get all 3. Because that is how much I love it, and I just cannot be without it, but it's kind of pricey, it's kind of bougie, so it's nice to get some money off of it, but it's just the best setting spray ever. If you've not tried it, I really, really recommend. Then I have the best cream bronzer I've ever tried in my entire life, and I know that sounds very dramatic, but I'm being for real when I say that, and it is the NARS. This is their Laguna Bronzing Cream Bronzer in the shade Laguna 01. So they do have 3 other shades. If you are a little bit deeper than me, they have 3 other shades. So this is just the one that works the best on my skin tone. It is the lightest one, but there's options out there, which is really nice. I very much enjoy when bronzers come in more than 1 shade because obviously not everyone is 1 shade. So I like that there are options. This one is just the best, you guys. Truly, it is the best cream bronzer ever. It blends in so effortlessly. It never gets too dark, deep, patchy. It never rubs off weird. It sets so beautifully with powder. If you can see here, I have a huge dent in mine. I use it constantly. My favorite way to use it is just put it on an unset face, and then I just set it down with my translucent loose setting powder, whichever one I'm using, and I just set right on top of it. Most of the time you can still see it shining through, and if you don't want to, you don't have to put a powder bronzer on top. It's gonna still shine through setting it down. Most of the time I do still put a powder bronzer on top just because I like to do that, but you don't need to if you don't want to. Or I feel like this is pretty self-setting itself, that if you don't set your face all over like me, you would still enjoy this. It's not gonna slip and slide everywhere throughout the day if you don't set it down with powder. But it's just something about the tone of this and then just how easily it blends out. I mean, I can tap it in with a brush in 3 seconds, and it just blends out like a dream. So I feel like quite a few people have bought this off my recommendation the past couple of months because I cannot shut up about it. I just talk about it all the time, and they all seem to really enjoy it as well. So this is from me to you saying, if you get anything from this video, 2 things: the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray, because it's just bomb, and this cream bronzer. Even if you don't like creams, I think you would enjoy this. Perfection. I only have one eyeshadow palette in this video today, and it's just the one that has just been my favorite over the past couple of months. And honestly, I can see it being my #1 favorite palette from the whole entire year. And it's a Patrick Ta Major Dimensions 2 Rose palette. This palette is perfection in my eyes. I don't use the creams here on the end. I know quite a few people use them as a base or a liner. I just really have no need for them, so I don't use them, which is a bummer because this is a pricey palette, so to not use 2 of the 12 shades is a little bit of a bummer, but the other 10 make up for it. These mattes down here are the most buttery mattes ever. They blend together like a dream, and it's funny because one of the main reasons I love this palette is the shimmers up here. They're just wild, like the most beautiful shimmers, but I didn't use any of them today. I went ahead and did an all matte look with this palette and just used these 3 mattes right here, and I still think it turned out really, really beautiful. I don't think I've ever done an all matte look with this palette, and I love how it turned out, so I'm definitely gonna do it again in the future. But this palette, the quality is just top notch. Again, I know it's pretty pricey. It's like $68. You do get money off, obviously, through the sale, but the way the mattes perform and how intense the shimmers are really do make it worth it, in my humble opinion. Obviously, this has to be a color story in shades you think you will use. The first one is a little bit more neutral tone, so maybe you would like that better if like those are the tones you go for. But I'm not gonna lie, I do have both of them and I prefer this one. I just think the quality is a little bit better. The first one's still good. I still recommend it to you if you have your eye on it, but this one's just a little bit better. Next up is an item that I picked up at the last Sephora sale a couple months ago, and I picked it up because all of the hype around this lip liner is real. You guys, I could not escape this lip liner. Everyone talked about it 24/7, and it is Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude. I'm here to tell you that everyone is right. This is like the most perfect, beautiful lip liner ever. I love the tone of it. It is what I have on my lips today. I just went ahead and outlined it. I have another lipstick in the middle and then lip gloss that's no longer available on top. All my other makeup will be listed and linked down below in case you're curious, along with these products as well. But something about this dang lip liner is just perfection, which is what everyone said. So that's why I was like, okay, I need to like pick it up for myself and see. On me and my skin tone, but I've seen a lot of other people with different skin tones say this as well, it's just such a beautiful nude color. It goes with absolutely any makeup you could ever pair it with, really any lip product you would want to pair it with. It's creamy and glidey without being too creamy and glidey. I feel like I still have control when I am applying it, and it's not like going all outside my lip line or anything like that. The formulation is amazing as well. I feel like it lasts for a very long time on my lips. My only qualm about it is that I feel like it's a kind of thicker pencil, so you can't, at least for me, I don't know if other people have this issue, I don't get a super precise line with it when I'm applying it. Like sometimes it just looks a little feathery. I don't know if I want to say feathery because that makes it seem like it goes outside your lip line, which it doesn't do that. Like it pretty much stays in place. I just can't get like a sharp, perfect line on my outer lips. But honestly, by the time I put lipstick and lip gloss and anything else on over it, it doesn't really matter. It still looks good, if that makes sense. And if you can tell, this was like a full-size lip liner and now it looks like a mini because I just have used and abused it, and I can see myself completely using this up and repurchasing. So good. Then we have a blush that kind of like the NARS bronzer I cannot shut up about. I just keep talking about it 24/7. And it is the Bare Minerals Blonzer, specifically in the shade Kiss of Pink. I do have all 3 of the ones that are available, Kiss of Rose and Kiss of Copper. I do like those 2 as well. If you are a little bit deeper skin tone, I would definitely look into those other 2 shades. But for my first skin tone, this one is just perfection. It is the blush that I have on my cheeks today. It's just the most perfect, beautiful pink shade. It matches pretty much any makeup look that I make. If I ever don't know what blush to use, I can always count on this one. It looks good with everything. It's not too pink, but it's not too nude. It's not too neutral or too warm, corally. Just everything about it is just the most perfect pink shade in my opinion. And this formulation lasts all day long. Like this will not budge on my cheeks. I will be this blushy and rosy until the end of the night when I take my makeup off. It does have a little bit of sheen to it, so if you like a more matte blush, maybe this isn't for you, but you can tell on my cheeks, it's not like too aggressive. It's not like there's glitter in it. It's almost just like a really healthy sheen that makes you look healthy and glowy. If you're around my skin tone and you're in the market for a new pink sort of tone blush, check this one out. Next up, we have the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer. In this, I have the shade Yogurt Drops 1.5B. This has been like my go-to concealer the last couple of months. It's the most perfect consistency where it's not too thin and like doesn't provide any coverage, but then again, it's not too thick where it's dry and cakey on your under eyes. It's just that Goldilocks perfect middle formulation that I feel like will look good on a lot of people's under eyes. I also really like the doe foot applicator. It's a little bit more interesting, like curved. It's not like your typical doe foot applicator. Do a little swatch for you so you can see. As you can tell, like it does definitely provide a coverage, which your girl needs because I have quite a few bags under my eyes that I need to cover pretty much on the daily basis. This also works really well with any foundations and powders I've paired it with. It never gets like weird or bunchy right here when I'm blending it out. And then when I set it down with powder, which I always do have to set it down with powder because I have pretty bad under eye lines that this definitely sinks into. So if you have under eye lines, this is going to sink into them. Pretty much anything will, but it does set down really well with powder. It's also really nice to add a little bit of extra coverage around my face in case I'm using a little lighter coverage foundation and just want a little extra something. This is just a really good one. My only qualm about it is that the packaging can get really messy whenever you like put the doe foot back in. So like this whole thing is covered in concealer. I've tried to clean it multiple times and it just keeps happening. But other than that, it's a really great go-to concealer. I have been using it like nonstop over the last couple months. The last makeup item I have to talk about is the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Under Powder. They have two different shades in this, but I do have the #1 shade, which is the lightest, and I have one other deeper one. This just sets my under eyes down perfectly. And this thing is tiny, so you may be looking at it like, why would I spend $30 on such a tiny amount of product? And I agree with you. When I first picked this up at Sephora during the last sale, I remember looking at it thinking like, why are you so tiny? But I truly only use this to set right under my eyes. So it will last me a long time. I have mentioned this in past videos and I've had a couple people comment on those videos saying that this is really drying on their under eyes. So maybe be careful if you are prone to that. But I feel like I am prone to that. A lot of powders don't look good on my under eyes. They're just very finicky. And this one does. It doesn't get too dry on me. It just sets my concealer down beautifully. And it is brightening. Like it does add a little bit of brightening aspect, which I like that. If you're someone who doesn't like a bright under eye, then definitely steer clear of this. But yeah, something about this, I just feel like it makes my under eyes look just flawless and beautiful and just sets down nicely. My concealer doesn't typically crease too bad throughout the day with this. And it's just a really, really great, beautiful under eye powder. And last but not least, we have the Super Goop Glow Screen Sunscreen. I just picked up this little mini, also at the last Sephora sale. That's funny, a lot of these products were products I bought the previous sale. When I first tested this out, I was a little on the fence about it. I thought it was just a little bit too glowy because it is. It's pretty glowy, guys. Let me do a little swatch for you. Here it is. And when you blend it out, like it really does just shine and glow. It almost looks Tin Man-y, but under makeup, it looks really, really beautiful. And this formulation works really well under makeup. When you rub it in, it's not oily or greasy like some sunscreens can be. And it doesn't have like an effect, actually it has no smell. I was about to say it doesn't have an offensive sunscreen smell, but it really is scentless. I don't smell it at all. And it adds a little bit of hydration to your skin and gives you a really beautiful glow to then put makeup over it. And this works well under every single solitary makeup product I have paired it with. It never gets oily or greasy or bunchy or like looks weird or interferes with my primer, foundation, nothing. Like this is a really beautiful product. I don't think I would ever really use it on its own, like in the summertime if I'm going out without makeup on. I think this would be a little bit too glowy, but I love using this under makeup. And it is SPF 40, which is nice. And that was it, you guys. That was some Sephora sale recommendations from me to you. Some products that I genuinely really, really love and want to recommend to you in case you have your eye on some new makeup. Let me know down below, are you planning on shopping this sale? If you are, what are you planning on picking up? Maybe it'll give me some ideas for my wish list video because I do have a couple things I have my eye on that I definitely plan on picking up, just not very many, which is not a bad thing. So be on the lookout for that wish list video probably next. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. You're awesome and I love you. Please subscribe if you have not yet, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye, guys.